live? Wow, that was.
I hope we're live.
Yeah, tell us if we're live. No,
Yeah.
if you're watching, please. We're our first week back because we really almost skipped the week last week. Only a couple of messages through on Mayor's Update.
It was very busy. It was a brief recap of what was going on, how things are happening. There's a whole new format for this live stream that we're doing today. So I just want to make sure that everybody can hear the audio. So if you're watching, let us know. It looks like everything's coming through.
Looks like it's coming through. So if you've got questions, by all means, put them in. And please, if you've got complaints, call Grayden at home.
Yes, absolutely. Give me a
Probably
call.
the best way to go.
Yeah. Jess will love that.
Yeah. No. Well, then Jess could message us, and she does usually anyway. So
yes.
That's perfect.
They may be watching. They're at a cottage, friend's cottage right now.
Sooner or later, we can just rule the mayor right out of Mayor's Update.
No. Very important component.
Yeah.
So work yourself out of a job.
This is kind of the fun part of the job. It's truly doing Mayor's Update and talking about all the things happening in St. Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And wait till you hear what we have this week.
Ooh, we have a very special guest for you. Mary Intven Wallace, one of the talented artists from the St. Thomas scene. She's also one of the founding members of the Elgin County Studio Tour.
Right.
That's right. And I am thrilled to be here to tell you about our upcoming studio tour. And just so you know, Grayden is also an artist, and he's also on a tour.
No, he's an incredible artist. If you look closely in the background, there is two of Grayden's hanging up in the middle between the two windows.
You may notice
there is no actual art from Joe in this room, but no.
Yet.
We're going to work on that.
Going to do a little bit of painting tonight after we tell you about our amazing studio tour.
Perfect. So let's talk about the studio tour. This is a really unique thing in St. Thomas. I mean, I know other places do these types of tours also, but for our artists in St. Thomas to all kind of gather together in their own homes and in the last weekend of September.
Absolutely. We have 23 artists in Elgin County, St. Thomas, Port Stanley, and Sparta. And we're going to open our home studios, and invite the public in. And so many people say, how much is it? It's free.
Wow, you can't beat that price.
No. And we have painters, we have potters, we have glass workers, woodworkers, and you're invited to come in and see where we do our thing. We would love to share.
Block out the last weekend of September now, right? You've got a Saturday and a Sunday. I would take it. And you've got a lot of places to tour and visit. You may have to take both the days.
Absolutely. Right? And you'll see these our brochures around town with maps and a description. But if you just Google us, it doesn't. I think almost everybody Googles.
No, everybody knows how to do it. Yes,
we have an interactive map.
No.
And when you're driving around the county that weekend, you're going to see lots of signs like this one, Elgin County Studio Tour. And they'll be.
Isn't it good how well we set up the office today? Yeah. We got paintings on our table. We've got a poster in the back. We've got brochures. Yeah, you think we knew what we're doing?
You almost think that,
right? Yeah.
Well, it seems that way to me. I mean, did you know that Joe could paint as well? He's going to show you that a little bit later.
He's very afraid. He's very afraid. I'll talk my way through the painting.
Yeah.
Well, Grayden, I know that we didn't get a chance to do much of a show last week, and we were at AMO, and there was just so much going on. So we'll try and answer some of those questions. I did get back online last week and talk about the show we did with Karen Vecchio and answered a lot of those questions. But if there's any of those things that we haven't answered yet, this is an open forum. By all means, repeat your question to us, and we'll make sure we get to it this week. Because next week's going to be a pretty busy show, too.
Yeah, it's going to be packed.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about the rail lands.
Right.
And we're going to have two special guests on next week as well.
Perfect.
Scott, who's the chair of their board.
Yeah.
As well as another very special individual. I think you know him.
Well.
Yes. Bill Zufil.
Great. He's going to come and talk about the Rail City Coalition and what we're doing on the Rail City lands and our secondary plan for the lands that have just been transferred from the museum to Doug Terry and what we can do, what we think we can do in the middle of our downtown. Right.
So stay tuned for all of that.
And all your railway lands questions can be answered next week. Right? Maybe not by me.
But in the meantime, Mary's going to tell us a little bit more about herself as an artist and about what you can expect on the studio tour.
Wonderful. I love how you're talking about St. Thomas, how we're growing. And so what we as an artist group thought we should do was become a little more visible. I think we have so many talented artists in our community, but it's kind of a hidden secret. So we're opening our doors and showing you what we love to do, what we can do, and we all celebrate the beauty, the nature, the buildings, the people, the beautiful.
And with the number of murals we've added to our community in the last decade, it's just been, hey, we're artistic. Come take a look. Right?
Absolutely, we are artistic, and it's a wonderful opportunity to celebrate that and to share that and to grow that arts community here. It's so enriching to our lives.
We've spent a lot of time in the last little while talking about the growth of St. Thomas from an economic point of view, from a parks point of view, from and we talk about cultural growth, and many people thank us for that. They say it's one of the pieces that many municipalities get lost on, right? But the fact that we will, even if we're building a new roadway, we'll come up with a sculpture to go with it. If we have just about put a mural on every wall we can put downtown. The mayor is afraid to stop downtown because he'd become a mural. But it's the right thing to do, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
That's so true. I've often heard that the mark of a civilization is how they value the arts.
Yes.
Whether it's music, whether it's painting, sculpture.
Well, as a former actor, even acting.
Theater.
As a former actor, did I stop acting? I'm acting 100% all the time. But I no longer do it on a stage.
And it's such a wonderful way to incorporate that into our lives because, as we all know, things are sometimes can get a little, changes happening, can be a little stressful.
Yep.
Pick up a brush, start singing, do some acting, everything else falls away. You're just totally present,
I do
creating.
Artistic dance, too.
Absolutely.
I don't do it in front of people, but no.
Well, maybe you could show us.
Let's take it to the next level.
Let's see. As you can see, a fantastic picture has already been started.
Oh, so
Joe had no role in this so
bit
far,
here.
except to admire it. Right.
So I was working on this today. I love the landscape.
Right. It is gorgeous.
Trees, sky, water
Running through, some rocks. Yeah.
You bet. It's a little dull, though. I think it needs a little pick-me-up.
Oh, so you're talking about the painting, not the mayor. Okay,
of course,
good.
I would never. I wouldn't dare. Oh my gosh.
We have too much fun. So I agree. And so why don't we see what we can do to brighten this up? So a very bright color. I see some red in there. So
sounds great. So I love red too. So let's find a few places. That's what a painter does. Anybody can paint.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, you put your brush in the paint.
See, but you knew what to do, and I'm going, okay, I've red on my brush. Now where would I put that? So I would think these rocks have a little bit of brightness. So if I put a little red there,
absolutely,
and with a nut beside it, so they look pretty much the same.
Wonderful.
It adds. Look at this.
Good rhythm.
Yeah.
Good
Okay, I'm
rhythm.
signing the bottom now. No.
Now, these colors tend to get a little lonely. You need to add a little more. So let's put a little bit, maybe on that tree.
Okay.
Just because you want to be with.
I'm looking for the good comments of those folks online today.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, beautiful.
Look at that.
It's really starting to pop there.
Oh no! See, now this is what. So would you start dull and go colorful, or start colorful in your normal?
Usually I block in the whole thing now, but it's kind of boring. It needs a little oomph.
Yeah.
So at the end, you put in those bright details. So keep going. What else would you like to do? You can look at this.
Look at the palette we have here.
You can do whatever he likes. So
and I'm afraid of ruining a perfectly good.
You can't ruin it.
Okay,
just enjoy.
This log also needs just a little bright red to go with there's lots of bright yellow up in this segment.
There you go.
So I just wanted to. Okay, so now this is the bright side of the creek. Mm-hmm. This side needs something else. So.
Yeah, you're right. So you see that. So it needs a little bit. Fall is coming. Maybe some of those leaves are turning
more
red.
Places to give it some of that fall color going on that side too. Look at I'm great.
Very, very impressed.
Give up your other job. I'm taking it.
Yeah. No, I don't think I can compete with this.
Okay, but so far I haven't got any paint on me or the office, so we're both doing good.
Well, I told
and you're right. It's just a matter of a little bit of splash added to what was a fairly gray rock there. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, like he knows what he's talking about. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
You see nature.
Right.
You see what draws your eye.
Well, when there is no color blends in nature, it's there. It isn't all. Even if it's a red barn, it's different shades of red on that barn. And so, when you're looking at a painting, you're trying to see the same thing. If it was all one color, it might as well be the wall in the office. It has to have different shades. Thank you. This has been.
Are you an art critic as well? This is very,
Hey, no,
very well said.
I'm just plain a critic now at my advanced age. I'm becoming far more of a curmudgeon. So yeah, who said that was right? No,
Doug Exner is saying, can you add in a canoe?
oh, yeah, I'm not adding a canoe. No,
red
that would be really
canoe.
adding to the painting. So far, I've added some tones to the painting.
I think that's
I'm
fine.
not sure I could draw a canoe even on a blank piece of paper.
There, we'll put a little
Well,
reflection
look at this.
in, just a
There
bit
we
of a
go.
reflection, and you did a great job,
Oh,
Joe.
I
don't
see.
know,
Because now, yes, it's red on the trees and red on that fallen limb and some of the rocks. And now you've put it down in the water as the reflection of it happening from above.
Beautiful.
See, now I wouldn't get to that for another 2 or 3 weeks. I wouldn't figure that part out.
Okay, now, the final piece of any painting, of course, is the signature.
Right.
would you like to co-sign it?
Sure.
Okay,
Since
go
I've
for it.
added. Right.
Put your initial on it, and
Down here, good?
sure, yeah, absolutely.
We're just doing a JP.
Perfect. I'll put mine on after. And
right.
I think you should definitely go on the studio tour. And
Oh,
you
there's
can
no doubt
learn
now. I'm going to. Right.
at
But I
all-
see there's like stained glassing.
Yes.
Right.
Another
Other
studios.
sculpturing and certainly pottery stuff too. Now, I've seen pottery wheels. I've never had a chance to play with one, but that might be some fun.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, some of the artists will have demos. You'll get to meet them, see all their wonderful work, and what makes life livable, what makes life exciting and fun is being able to create something.
There's a turtle and bird studio.
Sparta.
Really?
Mhm.
Pottery and
wait,
woodworking.
Wait, can I go to the Anvil Museum and
Yes.
the turtle and bird studio?
I'm
yeah.
sure you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can see we have potters.
Well, and Dennis is a friend, and so I
Yes.
have to go visit him now that I see he's on here. Right. Wow, this is. I'm a bit excited now that I can point to a painting.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
How are we doing on comments? Anybody? Any questions about how the city's running?
No, not so
Oh,
far.
great.
Everyone's been very
All right. Oh, wait,
captivated by
the
your
mayor-
artistry here with Mary.
The mayor's being artistic tonight, so don't ask him anything complicated. Right?
Yeah, like stay
No,
focused.
well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I do teach at a university.
Well, no,
There's something in there besides
I'm
just
telling you
this.
how complicated it is to do it. So don't get him started. It's he'll have to live up to that reputation in the future. So I try not to set the pattern too high.
All right, now Adam Montgomery is getting in on it. He's asking how the city is running. How is it
Well,
running?
you should have seen us. We went to Ottawa and went to the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, where St. Thomas is known and the name on everybody's lips. It seems to be what we've been doing here in Southern Ontario, not just St. Thomas, but certainly surrounding St. Thomas, has been really quite special. Many old friends coming up to me I haven't seen in years, saying, "Hey, what are you doing down there? How's this happening? How did you get this done?" Even on projects like our homelessness and housing issues, our parks, our trails. How did you get started on that? How did you get there already, Joe? And I went, look, you try to build a good city from the bottom up, but you got to build it, as I suppose you do with all art, at the same time. You've got to raise the whole, and so it was a fun meeting, and got to see some old Ottawa friends. It had been 10 years since I'd left Ottawa.
Yeah.
So people from my office and other members of Parliament from the day, and we had quite a good chat. So I had a lot of fun there. But we, in the city of St. Thomas, we took the best we could, because we took Steve Peters and Laurie Baldwin-Sands and myself. I think we had meetings with 8 ministers, but at least 3 of those meetings this time, Grayden, were not just us saying St. Thomas would like. There were meetings of the warden of Middlesex County, the warden of Elgin County, the mayor of London, myself, and councillors all on the same topic, like regional transportation.
Right.
And we used to all kind of go and kind of fight against each other for what we could get from the provincial government. This time we went en masse with great backing and said, we all want this. Try to say no now. Mm-hmm. And we weren't that bold or rude, but it really did work. We really did see 8 different ministers on different topics that were great for all of Southern Ontario and specifically St. Thomas in some of our cases. So, can't ask for more.
In the pre-show, we were actually talking with Mary about how she got around town, and she was saying that she actually used to ride her horses down Talbot Street with her friends.
We did. I grew up down on Sunset Drive before it was part of the city. And we would, with the Terrys, we would, and the infant kids, we would take our horses and ride right uptown along the railroad track. And we would go swimming with our horses.
We've made that a lot easier now because the trail goes all the way downtown and you don't have to ride on the railway tracks anymore.
I know, right? But I don't know. Are horses allowed? And sometimes they leave little souvenirs. I don't know if that's allowed anymore.
Oh, geez. We used to use those to play road hockey.
I don't think they have any rules against it.
No. Right. I don't think you can ride your hippopotamus in downtown St. Thomas, but a horse is probably still okay.
Yeah. I've taken the horse and buggy. When we had a horse and buggy, when I was in high school, I took it through the drive-through at Tim Hortons.
Dad, can I have the keys?
And we took our horses as well through the drive-thrus or to Shaw's to get ice cream.
Oh, well, that's a better place for it. Can I have something for the horse? No.
Sugar cakes.
Well, what I found is the weight pads at Tim Hortons aren't heavy enough for the horse
magnetic.
And buggy.
It's a magnetic loop.
Oh, it's a magnetic,
right?
Okay,
so it's big enough shoes, it would turn it on. But it recognizes an all-metal car going over top of the magnetic loop, and it tells us that there's a car there at the drive-thru.
Okay.
See, more learning for the city of St. Thomas today. It's it seems like forever since we've done a real show, and we're really not getting many questions tonight. So I feel fortunate. Thank you for taking it easy on the mayor after his week away. But
so we're gonna cut to commercial break.
Okay.
And we're gonna pack up some of the art stuff, and then bring your hard hitting questions.
Yeah, get your St. Thomas questions
the last
about what's
couple
going
minutes of this show here. Well, a couple. There's like about 15 to 14 minutes, something like that. So start prepping those questions.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
So you're going to commercial
after the break.
We miss you all already.
Are you looking for a one-of-a-kind gift for a family member, friend, colleague, or long-serving community member? Then look no further. I can create the perfect piece of art to bring joy into their lives. Fire me an email at grayden@langstudios.com or give me a call at 647-269-4415. I look forward to talking to you and creating a unique piece of art that will be treasured for years to come.
You and I, we were meant to be. I feel it in my soul. Feel it in my soul.
And we're back on the
if you
show.
want, I will take it and I can brag on it.
I think you should. I'll put a frame on it.
Okay.
And
well, thank you.
Mary's going to put a frame on the painting for the mayor.
Right. Mayor gets to keep some of the artwork that he really only did a little bit on, but there were special parts.
No, it's quite impressive.
All right,
quite impressive.
So, Mary, thank you for joining us tonight. And Grayden's right. We're rushed by our how much time we have tonight. So we really wanted to. If you have some questions of us on anything having to do with the city of St. Thomas, but there was a few questions because I've been putting them on social media about us going to Ottawa and AMO, and I think we've been answering those that these are the right things to do.
Yes.
Right? Look, we need to brag about the golf trophy.
Yes. Let me just
because yesterday was the Warden's golf tournament, the Warden of Elgin's golf tournament. So Warden Ketchabaugh and I have a putting contest each year. The trophy has lived in St. Thomas for the last 2 years. It's here again, and will stay here. We will. I may not have much golfing ability, but apparently have slightly more putting ability than Warden Ketchabaugh, and we both agree neither of us have any golfing ability. So
where's the list of all the winners?
Just St. Thomas. No. But again,
those are fighting words right there.
No, and we do like to have a good rivalry.
They're going to come out putting next year.
Somebody did say something, well, you'll be sure not to hit each other. And I said, well, they're called clubs for a reason. The warden was worried. No, he was not. We had a great time. Boy, it was hot out at the golf courses yesterday. Yeah. And then later on, I went to another Rob Flack's golf tournament in London when the Premier was there, and some 15 members of the cabinet. So again, can't afford not to see them if they're going to be in our area, and we can chat. And the Premier had some very, very fun things to say about St. Thomas, and we'll always take those as thank you very much.
Absolutely. It's exciting times here.
You've got the screen so far away today, I can't read the questions.
I know, I can control all the questions with the screen this far away.
Okay, you go ahead.
So this is Beth Douglas is asking, what is happening with the lot next to the Grand Central?
There's been, as we all know, that's the old Municipal World building, I think, is where that building that got taken down.
Yep.
And so we had to demolish because of some really bad bricks falling and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I've seen a design, but I haven't yet seen an approved plan for the building. But I expect we'll see some housing on that site very shortly.
Very good. Beth Douglas with another question.
Yeah.
She had a great chat with some police officers collecting school supplies outside Walmart.
Yes.
We have a great police force, and they appreciate being told so.
Well, do they ever? And I spent a great deal of time bragging on them while I was in Ottawa, too, because our special constable group out of our police services has really caused us to have a much more vibrant downtown, and other communities were truly asking about how did you do that? How did you get about that? How did you, right? And so we shared all the ideas because we don't mind sharing what we're doing, and that's working. So thank you for saying that about the police services and the school supply collection this last weekend. But they do so much in our community and are so active in our community. I know they did a Kids and Cops with the Big Brothers again this summer. They do shopping with a cop at Christmas time. Yeah. So many good things. So thank you.
And Doug Exner's asking is if you, the mayor, would have some free time to talk this week about St. Thomas and the new Yarmouth Yards project.
Where and how, because we'll talk about it here on Mayor's Update, right? We continue to share with everybody we can. Doug, I understand it, but there's many times when I'm asked to have a meeting with someone and it's one, and I'd rather talk about it on here where we're reaching 5,000 or more, right? Than have to repeat it 5,000 times. With 50,000 citizens in the city of St. Thomas, it's often hard to meet with all of them, but by all means, I was just on the Beehive, so we're talking more about the site out at Yarmouth Yards, and there's still some things we can't share. There's some other people looking for land and looking to come to St. Thomas and be part of Yarmouth Yards, but till those deals are all signed, we certainly can't share about them. So give Caitlin a call in my office, and if it's something we can do collectively, we'll get a chat going.
Perfect. Brett Longfield's asking is why is the Railworks Coalition going to be speaking about the secondary plan for the rail lands next week and not city planning staff?
Well, because secondary plans are about the land ownership. So the Railway Museum is one of the largest pieces of the land ownership as part of that secondary plan. The city observes secondary plans and talks with the landowners on every side, and including those that own the land, about what would they like to see. And that's how we develop what a secondary plan should look like. But by all means, let's start with the Railworks. They just transferred the land to Doug Terry and are working on the rebuilding or the renovation or the saving, if you will, of the Railway Museum. And so let's start with them.
Super exciting. And also, speaking of that, Dancing with the Stars is coming up very quickly.
Yes. September 6th. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's been a year, has it, Grayden? You and I both danced in Dancing with the Stars last year. Yes. And it wasn't with each other. You brought Jess and I brought Stephanie.
Yeah.
But
imagine if we did, that would have been awkward.
No, that might have. Yeah.
Because they were the stars of the show.
No. Stephanie carried me in literally.
Literally. It was incredible, actually, to see it. You guys. Yeah. Anyone who didn't come.
But it's coming up. It's like weekend after next. I mean, we're coming up on Labor Day weekend. Does that mean the end of the summer? I can't,
Joe.
It's not the end of the summer to me because I always like how September goes. But,
Yep. So that's coming up fast. And then there are a whole bunch of other events that they're holding as well. So go to their websites, either CASO or the Elgin County Railway Museum, to see what's happening there.
Yes.
And then, as we said, they're going to be on next week to talk about any questions you have about what they're doing or the rail works or any of that type of stuff.
Great. How we're growing railway heritage in our community also.
Yes, absolutely. Brett Longfield is following up on his question from previously, is when and how will the public be consulted on the secondary plan for the rail lands?
Well, exactly that. As a secondary planner, as a planner is hired by the city and the landowners to look at the secondary plan, public meetings, individual interviews will all take place. And as we said when we first started to talk about this, we're going to touch this thing about 100 times on the way to making any sort of decision as to what will go on the lands. And this is really early in the process still. So stay tuned and be involved.
Mm-hmm. Debbie Ramsey is asking, any new plan or news regarding the new dog shelter?
Yes. Well, I think you'll hear council on Tuesday night, because Monday is a holiday, the Labor Day holiday. Tuesday is our first. We may have a report then. If not, then the next meeting in September to talk about that we've come up with an RFP, a plan to make it happen. Mm-hmm. So we're not hiding the fact. We certainly have been putting a lot out about what will be involved in the new animal shelter. Where the animal shelter will be is a clear picture now at the corner of Southdale and Fairview, including with a off-leash park for both small dogs and big dogs.
It's going to be incredible.
Yeah,
you've seen.
We think we're going to really add to it. So
Adam Montgomery is asking, any talk of any entertainment coming into the new plaza area by Wild Wings? Still more to be built, I believe.
Well, in talking to Lee Greenwood, the builder of the apartment building that's there, that's just about finishing up. I think he's now at his last floor. Mm-hmm. There'll be some more, from his thoughts, there would be some more commercial and some more residential in that block where the apartment building is. So behind what was the new current commercial where Wild Wings and Mary Brown's and such were. So more to come, but it has to go through planning, and there'll need to be some zoning changes because we've zoned each of those blocks as we go. So you'll hear about it at council and here on Mayor's Update.
All right. And we're almost at the end of our time, but I've got a couple of quick questions I want to cover. And there are more questions coming in, but we will answer those
as we go. Yeah, before next week.
Yep. But AMO, is there anything exciting that's coming out of that you can talk about?
Well, no, because we don't really get a yes. Ministers don't jump up and say, yeah, Joe, we're going to give you millions of dollars to work on whatever project we went to talk about, whether it's housing or recreational centers or policing or right. Yeah. But we plant the seeds with like the Minister of Mental Health and Addictions for how can we now work on youth preventative measures on addictions rather than only rehab and detox at the end. And so we'll hear about these things over the next couple of months, but almost to a person, the minister said, Joe, we got to come down and see St.Thomas. Everybody wants to come go through Yarmouth Yards and see how big a Volkswagen battery plant looks. And so it's another great thing to get people down here to visit. Yeah. So,
it's great.
Although we feel very good when we leave the ministerial meetings. We don't always leave with an absolute yes. I don't remember ever leaving with a no. Sometimes it's a not now, but it still works.
All right. And then we're going to finish up with the events that are coming up because we have a lot of things coming up in September.
Yes.
We've got Oktoberfest on the 21st, and we've got sponsorship, $2,500 in sponsorship for the Goose Chase app, which is going to get people into the businesses all along Talbot. Right. And then we're going to have that massive party.
Train rides, all of the whole Oktoberfest, tapping of the kegs and all of that fun. Bridges to Better Business is the weekend. Week. The following weekend? So is it
Thursday? It's Thursday, I think.
Thursday, okay.
And then we've got the Elgin County Studio Tour, which is like
the studio tour.
Saturday, Sunday. Art for
yes. And Dancing with the Stars, you already covered on the 6th. And I know I'm missing something on that third weekend, but we've got next week's Mayor's Update to actually even cover some more of that.
Yes, exactly. Oh my goodness, so many things. But we are at the end of our time today. So thanks to all our viewers. Thanks to Mary, who's still here. She's been working on the painting on the sidelines here.
Yes.
Thanks to the mayor.
See you in September.
Yes.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Yes, we'll see you next Tuesday night. After council, we'll do